Caitlin Clark has become the center of attention regarding dramatic changes in her physical appearance. The Indiana Fever recently released promotional content ahead of their matchup against the Atlanta Dream, featuring updated footage of their star player that has sparked widespread discussion among supporters. At the start of the season, Clark appeared notably muscular and physically robust, resembling her strongest form yet. Her build suggested she had dedicated significant time to strength training during the off-season. However, recent promotional material shows a markedly different physique, one that more closely resembles her college days at Iowa. The transformation raises questions about whether team management influenced these physical changes, because, you're adding a bunch of mass to your body, you're not free as you was, you kinda losing the tangibles that kinda make you who you is. And I feel like that's why we sink the Kayla Clark we seen. Now, going back, moving forward, if Kayla Clark lose some of that muscle, go back to how she was at Iowa, we're going to get the Iowa Caitlin Clark back. We're going to get to rookie season Caitlin Clark back. Now, with all that being said, let's head on over to X. Check out this commercial, because I know y'all wondering. It's possible that coaching staff or organizational leadership suggested reducing muscle mass for performance reasons. The initial decision to bulk up likely came from professional guidance as well, making the reversal equally deliberate. There are concerns that excessive muscle gain might have contributed to Clark's injury struggles. When athletes add substantial mass rapidly, their movement patterns can change, potentially compromising the natural athleticism that made them successful. Returning to her Iowa-era physique could help restore the agility and fluid motion that characterized her college dominance. The promotional video reveals a dramatically thinner Clark compared to her early season appearance. Her arms appear notably slender, and her overall frame looks considerably smaller. The difference is particularly visible in her neck and shoulder region, where the muscle definition from earlier in the year has disappeared entirely. Comparing images from different periods shows the extent of these changes. Photos from the season's beginning display a powerfully built athlete with defined musculature and a thick, strong appearance. Current footage presents someone who appears almost fragile by comparison, with a much more delicate bone structure visible. The timing of these changes coincides with Clark's recent groin injury, which has kept her out of action for over a week. Medical experts suggest this type of injury involves strained tendons and small tears in the adductor muscles that stabilize the pelvis. These injuries are particularly problematic for players who rely on quick directional changes and explosive movements. For athletes like Clark, whose game depends on sudden acceleration and cutting motions, the muscles around the pelvis are crucial. When these structures are compromised, recovery becomes a lengthy process rather than a day-to-day situation. The injury timeline suggests a more serious condition than initially indicated. The weight loss appears to have occurred rapidly, which raises additional health considerations. Such dramatic physical changes in a short time frame can affect an athlete's performance, recovery ability, and overall well-being. The contrast between her current appearance and her condition just months ago is striking enough to generate genuine concern. Whether this transformation was planned or resulted from the injury and subsequent treatment remains unclear. Some argue that returning to her college weight might actually benefit her performance by restoring her natural movement patterns. Others worry that she may have lost too much mass too quickly. The Indiana Fever organization faces questions about their role in these physical changes. If they encourage the initial weight gain and subsequent loss, their decision-making process regarding player conditioning comes under scrutiny. Professional teams typically have extensive support staff to monitor such transitions. Clark's situation highlights the delicate balance athletes must maintain between strength and agility. While muscle mass can provide power and protection, too much can hinder the quickness and flexibility that made her effective at the collegiate level. Finding the optimal physical condition for professional basketball presents unique challenges. The fan response to these changes has been mixed, with many expressing worry about her health and appearance. Social media discussions focus on whether she looks too thin compared to her earlier robust condition. The visual difference between recent footage and earlier season photos is undeniable. As Clark works through her injury recovery, the question remains whether her current physical condition will support a return to peak performance. Her college success came at a lighter weight, suggesting this change might ultimately prove beneficial once she's fully healthy. The situation serves as a reminder that physical conditioning in professional sports involves complex decisions with far-reaching consequences for player health and performance. The WNBA playoff games delivered a mixed bag of results, featuring 3 decisive blowout victories and 1 competitive contest that kept fans engaged. Chachi Zandalasini had 14, Kate Martin struggled big time from the field. But you have Veronica Burton struggle from the field as well. Burton at 7 turnovers in that game. It is what it is. This is a team that's done great to make the playoffs. It's probably all they're going to do. And Atisha Heidemann hooping, probable 6th player of the year. Bridget Carlton, I mean, she's been fine. I think she's enough to keep her starting 5 spot this year, but I don't think Bridget Carlton's been good this year. The visiting team initially controlled the tempo and built a substantial lead, but their advantage evaporated as the home team found their rhythm. Nafisa Collier and Courtney Williams were instrumental in the turnaround, combining for 25 points during a crucial stretch. Both players contributed significantly in the opening half, with their combined scoring reaching 22 points before intermission. Cecilia Zandolini added 14 points to support the effort. However, Kate Martin encountered serious shooting struggles throughout the game, failing to find her range when her team needed offensive production this year. Especially by the last year, Bridget Carlton's not been great. I think she's got that spot over Dijonay just purely based on spacing reasons and seniority. I think Dijonay's probably been better as a player for NAM this year. The Seattle Storm is the Aces game. Yeah, the Aces are a lot better than the Storm. Brittany Sykes might be the worst player to ever be named to an All-Star team. 0 points, 5 turnovers, 5 fouls. Veronica Burton also struggled with field goal accuracy while committing 7 turnovers that proved costly for her squad. This turnover-prone performance exemplified the team's inability to handle playoff pressure against a more experienced opponent. The defeated team deserves recognition for reaching the postseason, though their tournament run appears destined to end quickly. They feature probable 6th player of the year candidate whose contributions help secure their playoff berth. Bridget Carlton has maintained her starting position throughout the season, though her performance has declined compared to previous campaigns. While adequate enough to retain her role, questions exist about whether younger players might better serve the team's needs. Spacing concerns and veteran status likely preserve her starting spot over more talented alternatives. The Seattle Storm faced elimination against the Las Vegas Aces in what became another lopsided affair. The talent disparity between these franchises was evident from the opening tip as the Aces controlled every aspect of the game. Brittany Sykes delivered a historically poor performance that raises questions about her All-Star selection. She was doing the right things, and she was trying to do the right things, and she stayed aggressive, and she was better in the second half. If you're looking right here, first half, it got ugly. It got ugly at times for Dominique Malonga, but she had 10 points on 100% shooting in the second half. Yes, she was 1 of 8 in the first half. It was bad. It was real bad. But if you're looking here, recording 0 points with 5 turnovers and 5 fouls in just 16 minutes while posting a -17 rating, she became a liability rather than an asset for her team. Dominique Malonga experienced the harsh reality of playoff basketball in her debut postseason appearance. The young player struggled initially, shooting 4 of 11 from the field while being blocked multiple times by veteran defenders. However, her resilience and continued aggression proved encouraging for future development. Despite a difficult first half where she shot 1 of 8, Malonga rebounded strongly after intermission. If you're looking here, Asia still played 12 minutes. He still did well. And look, she got cooked by Asia Wilson. Everyone's getting cooked by Asia Wilson. She's 19. When Asia Wilson was 3 years old, she got cooked by Lena Deladon in her first playoffs. When Malonga's 19. Malonga is the age. There are college freshmen that are older than Dominique Malonga. Am I right in saying Katie Heckle's old? I know there are people that are college freshmen that are older. Dominique Malonga, no, Katie Heckle's younger. She converted all her second-half attempts for 10 points on perfect shooting, demonstrating the learning ability that makes her special. The 19-year-old faced Asia Wilson, one of the league's premier players, in an educational experience. Wilson dominated the matchup as expected, but Malonga's willingness to compete against such elite opposition bodes well for her development. Many college freshmen are older than this professional rookie, highlighting her remarkable youth and potential. Comparisons to other young stars reveal Malonga's accelerated development timeline. She is 4 years younger than some current college standouts, suggesting her ceiling remains incredibly high despite current struggles. Aja Wilson's performance reinforced her status among the sport's all-time greats. Her dominance over younger opponents demonstrates the experience gap that often determines playoff outcomes. Alyssa Smith deserves credit for defensive improvements that have made her a valuable contributor. Previously known for fouling frequently and making poor decisions, she has developed into a legitimate rotation player for the championship contending Aces. Shout out Alyssa, I knew there was a player in there. I didn't think this was the player. I thought she was going to go to the Valks and average 15 a game. That was my picture for Alyssa Smith. I didn't think she was going to become a real important key piece for the Osweg's Aces. Like, I legitimately thought when she made that trade that she was an equivalent to Meg Gustafson, who's now a Garberson player. Chian Parker-Tyus is going to be big for them in the playoffs as well, man. The Aces are going to be tough. I haven't gone to the finals. They're going to be a tough F for anybody. But the real game is this game right here. I'm going to talk a little. Initial expectations suggested Smith would become a volume scorer for a lesser team, averaging significant points on a rebuilding roster. Instead, she has embraced a complementary role that maximizes her strengths while minimizing weaknesses. Chelsea Gray Parker-Tyus figures to play an expanded role as the playoffs progress, providing additional depth for the Aces championship pursuit. This team appears capable of reaching the finals based on their recent form and talent level. The most compelling game featured a dramatic overtime battle that showcased both exceptional individual performances and glaring weaknesses. Is this game right here? I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to make an entire video tomorrow about Satu. Because I thought her effort and her performance was pathetic. Sati Zabli went 2 for 17. 2 for 17. 2 for 17. Alyssa Thomas went 7 for 18, including she blew a semi-open layup to win the game in regulation. And Monique McCanney, 2 of 11. Like, somehow they were in this game. Satu Sabely struggled mightily, shooting 2 for 17 in a performance that raised questions about her playoff readiness and mental toughness. Alyssa Thomas shot 7 for 18 while missing a crucial semi-open layup that could have secured victory in regulation. Her late-game execution issues prevented her team from advancing without additional minutes. Monica McCann also struggled with accuracy, converting just 2 of 11 attempts in another poor shooting display. Despite these offensive struggles, the game remained competitive due to questionable coaching decisions by the opposing team.